Hello and welcome back to Wolf and Friends Gaming. I apologize for the delay in videos. I had computer problems, but in honor of Easter, we're doing the top 5 heroic sacrifices. So spoilers if you haven't completed any of the games.
Let's start this list.
With our number 5, or Cinco.
Metroplex from Transformers Fall of Cybertron. Unfortunately, Metroplex does not appear in the first game, War for Cybertron. Instead, he appears in the Fall of Cybertron as an important role. The Decepticon onslaught is too tough for the Autobots, forcing Optimus to take drastic measures and recruit Metroplex to help him fend off Megatron. Metroplex is actually successful at killing Megatron. However, in Transformers, no one officially dies, of course, and Megatron is, of course, rebuilt, even better before, by Soundwave. However, Metroplex does provide serious reinforcements for the Autobots. However, it comes to a point when Megatron returns and causes so much damage to the Autobots that they must take off and leave their planet in the Ark. Metroplex sacrifices his own power source when the Ark doesn't have enough. And unfortunately, he's left behind to die from the lack of energon. He sacrifices to save the Autobots and send them to another planet to be safe and away from the Decepticon menace. Like Metroplex says, till all are one.
Now we go to our number 4. Mr. Piers Nivans from Resident Evil 6, one of the worst Resident Evil games the critics call. Piers Nivans, he and Chris Redfield worked side by side at one point until when they were in Edonia, I think was the nation's name, a BOW attack surprised Chris's squad and killed almost all of them, except for Piers and Chris, obviously. Chris goes into an alcohol-induced depression and Piers gets him out of it, where they try to hunt down Ada Wong, who was the one supposedly leading the attack. After a lot of endeavors, they find themselves helping out Sherry Birkin and Jake Moeller, Albert Wesker's son. Before they fall, he injects himself with the C virus during an attack by Hal, the host BOW. However, when they think that it's dead, Chris, almost out of energy, needs to be saved by Piers. With one lightning blast, Piers saves his life.
Number 3. Zero. Not this Zero.
This Zero. Zero from the Mega Man X series. He is a Maverick Hunter, or basically a mechanical soldier with his blade. In his story arc, he is reawakened by a scientist named CL, who in the first game he must stop his old ally Mega Man, who has been murdering Reploids in order to save energy, kind of like today with oil and population. Also, after the other 3 games, the Reploids are still being killed off by a man named Dr. Weil, not Dr. Wily. Dr. Weil, who has forced humans and Reploids and the armies that Zero fought alongside with out. He then tries to create or find Ragnarok, a giant space cannon that is pretty much going to destroy the entire Earth. In a final showdown, Zero tries to stop Weil, and to his avail, he does. But instead of getting teleported off by CL, he decides to sacrifice himself for all the people in order to stop Ragnarok once and for all. However, at the end, we are seen with Dr. CL whining over him pretty much, and his death, and we're left with a helmet, whether or not he's dead or not.
A sad, sad death, but Zero died saving their species. Number 2. That's right, Baby Metroid, from Super Metroid and Metroid Other M. The Baby Metroid was originally created by scientists to be a weapon. However, it imprinted on bounty hunter Samus Aran and thought of her as her mother. The Baby Metroid would eventually sacrifice itself in Samus's final boss fight against Mother Brain. He gives the energy to Samus to fight, however Mother Brain kills Baby Metroid. But this actually prompts Samus to fight even harder and successfully kill the evil alien.
That is if you're a good player.
But it was a sad death for its mother.
With the baby out of the way, we go down to our number 1.
Dr. Morden Solus from the Mass Effect trilogy. Mordin is actually from Mass Effect 2 and 3. He never appeared in the first game. However, we find out in his backstory that Mordin Solus created the genophage that endangered the Krogan race. It was an effort to keep the population under control and prevent the Krogan from rebelling against his people, the Salarians. However, Mordin is called into action when the Krogan need the genophage cured in order to help against a bigger enemy, the Reapers. Mordin vouches to help Shepard solve the cure and destroy the genophage once and for all. However, Mordin eventually sacrifices himself in an effort to fix the mistake that he did, feeling guilty for how much pain and suffering the genophage has caused the Krogan people. However, you do have the option to kill Mordin if you're a renegade player. However, if you take the Paragon route, it's a lot more heartfelt, knowing that Mordin dies fixing his mistakes. Mordin felt incredibly guilty for causing the genophage, and now he dies redeeming his name and helping gain reinforcements, both Krogan and Salarian, to Shepard's fight against the Reapers. Mordin died saving millions and helping more Krogan babies be born.
So with all of our number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 out of the way, we go to people that haven't been on the list or didn't get to be on it. It's their actions, aka our honorable mentions. Shadow the Hedgehog from Sonic Adventures 2. He's basically a genetic clone of Sonic, but his main mission is to get the Chaos Emeralds. However, when the Earth is being threatened by, of course, weapons, Shadow teams up with Sonic to use Chaos Control and to save them. However, Sonic is the only one that survives, or is seen who has survived.
Bill from Left 4 Dead.
He was a Vietnam War veteran who, before the apocalypse, was trying to have hip surgery. Sadly, his doctor became infected and he killed him with a scalpel, I believe, was in the comics. In the sacrifice, of course, why not call it sacrifice, he sacrifices himself for Zoe, Francis, and Lewis, who was wounded, in order to save them, but we're seeing with him with his M16 and 3 tanks attacking him. And George from Halo Reach, I'm thinking it's going. George from Halo Reach, who he sacrificed himself in order to save the people from the Covenant. However, that didn't really work out that much because the Covenant still fought, but his sacrifice greatly wounded or crippled their military force. So once again, I'd like to thank you for watching these top 5 videos. Please continue to support with likes, subscribe, favorites, comments, etc. And our 50th video will be coming up soon, so stay tuned for that. Thank you, and have a happy Easter.